Hey, welcome to the Undrafted Hockey Fan Podcast. Today we're talking about Shane Wright going to the AHL. Oh my goodness, this is actually big news because the Seattle Kraken have been screwing up, in my opinion, his development. You have someone of his caliber. He's a fourth overall draft pick. So let's kind of do an overall description of what Shane Wright is. So if you don't know, Shane Wright was projected to go first overall in the 2022 NHL draft. First overall. Everyone's like, oh, first overall. Canadians are going to take Shane Wright. This is the plan. They're going to take Shane Wright. Da, 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 da. He's been talked about for 3 years to go number one. And they did not. He did not. And so, actually, it's funny. I'm going to tell a quick story. So, my wife and I were at the draft, and he didn't go. And we're like, oh my God, he didn't go. Like, what's happening? Like, everyone was blown away. Because Canadians have been talking to Yaroslav Slavkovsky. He's a left winger, by the way. Centers are more desirable overall, but the reason that the Canadians took Yaroslav Slavkovsky is because they wanted a higher draft pick. They wanted a higher ceiling. So Shane Wright was thought to be the most NHL ready. He was ready to go. He was, he had a lower ceiling but a higher floor. So he was going to be in the NHL no matter what. It just kind of depended on where he was going to land. But the thing is Slavkovsky, lower floor but higher ceiling, so a lot more higher potential, which is one of the reasons he went first overall. Secondly, so then you have next up, it was going to be New Jersey, and so New Jersey's picking second overall. And I was talking to this one guy. We're going back and forth at the NHL. So we were actually outside Little Caesars Arena, and they had it all projected, and it's at a stage. They were projecting the draft and everything that was happening in Montreal. And so they were doing that, and so New Jersey Devils are up second overall. This guy's like, dude, he's going. They're picking Shane Wright. I'm like, dude, they're not picking Shane Wright. Like, I think Montreal should have picked them, but they're not picking Shane Wright. No, he's doing it. No, dude, they're not going to pick Shane Wright. They have Jack Hughes. As a center, first overall draft pick. They have Nico Hischier, first overall draft pick. Those are top two centers. You don't want another top two center playing on your third line, because long term, what's that going to look like with these young prospects? You need some depth. And I said, hey, their defense is not there yet. The defense is there. There's some parts, but they're not fully there. I said they're going to take Nemec. They're going to take Simon Nemec. He's like, no, dude. There's no way they're taking that. They're taking Sherry for sure. Sure enough, second overall, takes Simon Nemec. I'm like, man, take a drink, because we bet they take a drink or finish a drink, whatever. I take a drink. Anyways, so this comes third overall. So we're like, he's like, no, dude, Arizona's taking him. I'm like, why would Arizona take him? We just talked about it. I said, hey, man, I just told you. And Shane Wright is ready now. He's ready now. Why would Arizona take one now? They don't want to be good now. They don't be good now for the next couple of years. We know they're in a rebuild, so why would we do that? So they don't pick him. So I said, hey, no, they're picking Logan Cooley, because he has high upset. Honestly, there was up in at the end, or when there was talks about the draft and everything, who was going to go first and everything. Logan Cooley actually had a stint where they were thinking about him being top as well, because he's a very high ceiling, similar to Yaroslav Slavkovsky, but at the center position. So I said, now they're taking Logan Cooley. Sure enough, they third overall, they take Logan Cooley, and I was like, okay, maybe Seattle will take him, and they end up Seattle took him fourth overall. So, anyways, the guy was supposed to go first overall. He goes fourth overall. The drama. It was so much fun. I had so much fun. I loved it. I loved the little drama. Like I said, it was great, and I love it because you had Shane Wright. He stuck his hand out, shakes hand, and he looks over the Montreal table, and he mean mugs him. And that right there. That's long term. That is long term. What's gonna happen? Let's get this little episode screen out of here. So that's long term. That's what's going to happen. So you just know that is that fire in his belly. It's good. So, anyways, so the one thing is, so we have Shane Wright. He's going to the AHL. We know he's going to the AHL. Woo! Yeah. Nah, he's not really going to the AHL. So he is going to the AHL, but he's going down on a conditioning stint for 2 weeks. He's allowed to go down there for 14 days, going to the Coachella Firebirds, who are the AHL affiliate for the Seattle Kraken. So the biggest thing, the reason I was saying that Seattle is screwing up their potentially screwing up the development of Shane Wright. Is he has been scratched? Let's see. He's been scratched. I had it right here. 11 of 18 games this season. So he's been a healthy scratch, not playing in the games, practicing with the NHLers, but not playing in the games. And he has posted 1 point in 7 games while logging 8 minutes and 6 seconds per game. So not a lot of. That's fourth liner. That is fourth liner, third line-ish. I mean, it's essentially fourth liner. Why would you do this to this kid? He is a top draft pick. He needs development. He actually lost a year because he was playing in the OHL, so he lost a year of development. So why not let him go continue to develop? Go in the OHL. He did a great job in the OHL. Why not just take him there? Now, the thing people ask is they said, hey, why can he not go to the AHL? Why can once he signed his contract, why couldn't he just go to the AHL? So the reason that he is going to the AHL and he can't stay there is because there's a clause in the CBA that says that first round players that were drafted that year, right? So they were drafted in 2022. The CBA, which is the agreement with the hockey official, with hockey, the NHL and the CHL. The CBA is the agreement, the collective bargaining agreement between the NHLPA and the NHL, and in there is a clause that talks about that in the agreement that the NHL and the CHL have this clause that if there's first round draft picks, they have to go. They can't go to the AHL. They have to go to the CHL. If you're going to move to AHL, you have to go to the CHL. So they can go back to where they were at, or they have to go to CHL. And so. He actually could have gone back to the OHL, which I think is the best thing for him. Go get him on go send him back to his AHL or his OHL team. Let him go, just play and have fun and just thrive and be young and just have a good time. And then go and then in the next year bring him back, because this is not healthy for his. Again, he's played 7 games out of the 18. He's been scratched for 11 out of the 18. It's unhealthy. It brings resentment. He already has a lot of resentment with the NHL teams right now. Of not the Kraken. He is with the Canadians. He already has some frustrations, and I understand there's some good exposure between like him and the other guys and everything, and it's good to build that chemistry and everything. But we have to think about the long-term success of his development, and he needs to be playing meaningful games, which is one of the reasons. So I talk about with Edmonton and Detroit. He was good, but he has a ton of development, so that's why they sent him down to AHL. But he's also a year older than Shane too. So like, don't bring these guys in prematurely unless you're going to keep him there. If you're not going to keep him in the roster, they're not in the roster. If you're not going to play him, why keep him? It doesn't make sense. Just let the kid go, let him thrive, and maybe this is something that I'm a huge. I think it's dumb. I think that if you're the CHL is, in my opinion, and what I've heard, is lower competition. So the CHL is a lower competition. It doesn't have the same. It's not like juniors. It just doesn't have the same intensity. And so if you're sending him to CHL, it's just not a great league for him to develop. He would better go back to his juniors team. So again, I don't know why. I think there's a certain exposure maybe. I don't know. Like, what are they trying to do? It's not going to help. Again, it's not going to help. So I'm excited for him to go on his 2 weeks stint in the AHL. Again, he's not being sent down to the AHL. He's being loaned on a conditioning stint to the Coachella Firebirds. So for this situation, so hopefully he'll be able to thrive. He'll be able to get his bearings right and be able to just kind of play meaningful games. He better be on a top line, playing with top players, top 2 line for sure. Let him really get his like guts going. Let him get his fire going, because again, he doesn't have 1 point. I will say that he's not as NHL ready as we thought he was. But he literally was drafted, like, let's see, June? Like 6 months ago. Like it was so short. Why bother? Why Why even bother? Just let him stay. Let him stay in. Again, I've already talked about it. Let him go to his juniors. Let him play meaningful hockey somewhere. Let him have fun to go win a championship somewhere. Just let him have fun. Because and then he comes in with a great attitude, great high confidence because he's played well for a year. Right now, you're not building this confidence. This is even like, I can understand the physical game because there's practices or NHL speed because you're playing with NHL players. So I can get that. Like, that makes sense. But there's a mental mind game to this as well. Like, we know this. We've seen players who are phenomenal players who are physically capable. We saw them last year, and then the next year they're less capable, and it's a confidence thing sometimes. And you're seeing that. It's just, again, I think the confidence, the mental aspect of it, is so important for him to go out there and get that. And it's just frustrating that Dave Haxtell is not allowing that to happen. And it's just frustrating. So don't scratch him. Just let him go. Just let him go do his thing. Let him be a kid. 18 is a kid. Let him go enjoy his OHL experience. Let him like I said, build his confidence. So let me know. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong. I don't know anyone else who said, yeah, it's good to scratch him. Yeah, it's good to keep him in. Like, I don't know anyone. I've not seen any opinions. I'm on Twitter. You know, I can hang. You know. So, but I don't understand it. So let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate it. Love you. Tell me I'm wrong.